NXT last night. Very, very phenomenal show. It was written and produced right. The show, everything on the show perfectly made sense. It was absolutely fantastic. We got the young Grizzly veterans moving on to the semifinals. We got Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez also moving on to the semifinals to challenge Case Tyler Rust's push on the NXT men's roster. Also, we got Io Shirai, Toni Storm, Mercedes Martinez continuing their feud. We got much more to go over right here on my Ingram Wrestling News YouTube channel. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Ingram Wrestling News' very own Brendan Ingram, live with your January the 27th, 2021 NXT review. So before we get started this afternoon, if you're new to the channel, man, be sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell for all notifications. Of course, to never miss my Call of Duty, Black Ops Cold War, Xenoverse 2, and Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 content that I have on my channel. I got new content coming to the channel, and I will be buying the new Dragon Ball FighterZ game. So that's going to be new content coming to the channel. That's going to be one of the newest contents coming to my channel. Also, if you haven't followed me on Twitter yet, please do so. Follow me on Twitter at Ingram Wrestling. Follow me on Twitch. Get it up to 100 followers on there. And let's get up to 100,000 followers on Twitter. And also, folks, I've been wanting to get this off my chest for a while, and I want to go ahead and say it now. First of all, I just want to say that this week has not been good for my YouTube channel. This week hasn't been a good week for my channel. I lost 4 subscribers this week, and I am very, very upset. I'm not heartbroken, but I'm upset. Because I thought my channel would interest them. I thought, my channel would be interesting to anybody. I thought I've given everybody what they wanted to see, what they want to hear. It feels like I'm flumping. Yeah, I've had a frustrating week with myself and my channel, man. To an extent, it was so bad that I even tweeted out and asked, should I delete my YouTube channel? Because, what am I going to do? What else is there to do, man? But just the other day, I asked, what should I do to grow my fucking YouTube channel? I asked that the other day, and no one said not a word. So I said, you know what? Fuck it, forget it. If no one's going to answer me, then I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing on my YouTube channel until I get up to 100,000 followers, or until I get to 100,000 subscribers. I can't believe I got no answers from anyone on what I should do to grow my channel. But thank you so much to my Ingram Wrestling News subscribers, viewers who have supported me along the way on my channel. Please continue to do so, man. I'm going to need it. I'm going to need a whole lot of support from all of my YouTube subscribers and all of my Twitter followers as well. And I'm definitely going to need the support from Twitch and my Twitch followers as well. I'm going to need all the support I can, man. Especially if you want me to get up to 1,000 subscribers. Especially if you want me to bring you all kinds of new content to the channel. I'm gonna need it, man. because it seems like I'm not getting enough of it as of late. So last time, if you're new to my channel, man, hit that subscribe button, man. I really want to get up to 200 so I can continue towards grinding up to 1,000 subscribers. We're gonna go ahead and get started with the review, folks. So first things first, folks. NXT. This week's NXT opens up with a look back at last week's main event between Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher, which ended with their potential union. Now, what does this mean going forward? I'm not sure, but I'm guessing Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa are, I'm guessing, going to be the next paired up team in the tag team division. That's what I'm guessing. I don't know. That's my best guess. So after that, we got the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, the quarterfinals. We got MSK versus Killian, Dain, and Drake Maverick. So we start things off with Nash, Lee, and Drake Maverick, and Drake takes the back and slams him down. Drake takes a bulldog headlock, but Lee uses his strength to get up and force Maverick to the corner. They break apart and stare at each other before locking up, and again Maverick gets the better with a front face lock takedown. Lee counters with a wrist lock, then whips Drake to the corner and makes the tag to Nash Carter. Carter and Lee team up to hit a Bronson buster on Drake and get a 1 count. Carter tags Lee in again and he hits a tope, then immediately tags Nash back in and he hits a tope for a 2 count. Carter whips Maverick and attempts a drop kick, but Drake holds the ropes to avoid it. Maverick runs and tags Dain, who in turn throws Maverick unknowingly the corner where he clubs him. Dain tags Maverick and they hit a drop toe hold, leg drop, and Dain body slams Maverick into Carter for a 2 count. Dain hits a pump kick to apron. Carter gets the tag and teams with Lee for a series of strikes to drop Dain to his knees. Dain just angry and shoves Lee off the top rope, crashing to the floor. Carter checks on Lee, and Maverick stops Dain from getting out of the ring. As we head to the break, we return to find Dain and Drake Maverick beating on Lee in the corner. Maverick hits a snapmare and a senton for a 2 count that makes the tag to the Beast About Feast. You know, Nikki Cross's husband, Killian Dain. Dain drops Lee with a right hand, then hits a body slam and a senton. Tag to Drake, and he goes back to the headlock, but Lee throws him off and tags Carter, who comes in hot with lariats to Maverick. Carter hits a knee, then a enziguri in the corner. Then Carter hits a running soccer kick to Maverick, then drop kicks Dain off the apron before tagging Lee. Carter does a moonsault and Lee shoves him into the mid-air. Then Dain breaks the pinfall attempt. Dain is knocked from the ring and Carter dives off the top ropes onto him on the floor. Meanwhile, Maverick rolls up Lee for a near fall. Lee hits a back elbow to Maverick and tags Carter so they can hit Spinebuster, Blockbuster to get the win. Now, This was a great match between MSK and Killian Dain. A solid, if somewhat luxury opener for this week's show. MSK have not been able to truly hit 100% yet in ring. However, regardless of it, is LHP or LDF that they face off against in the Dusty Cup semifinal. Now, folks, they will be facing off against a duo that can work with them to demonstrate the team's true skills, which they are referring to the Grizzly Young Veterans. The Grizzly Young Veterans are my only favorite NXT tag team in the NXT tag team division. They know how to get it done like Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder. They know how to get it done similar like the Revival. These guys are legit. They are really good at what they do in the ring. I feel like NXT has dropped a ball in the form of Dain and Maverick, similar to when they had a high potential opportunity with Aaliyah and Rios, and they just rushed to the end. Honestly, small note, but Wiz's gear is a little bit odd, and I would like to see them tied it up a bit and make it look like a little bit less fighting, if you all know what I mean. Now, so after MSK's victory over Drake Maverick and Killian Dain, the Young Boys, I almost said the Young Bucks. The Young Boys, MSK, have progressed to the semifinals of the 21 Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, where they will face the winners of Lucha House Party versus Legado del Fantasma. We see Oney Lorcen and Danny Burch arriving at the arena earlier today and dropped off by Pete Dunne. Let me remind you all, Pete Dunne is a heel. He's one of the best heels going for NXT. Coming up next is another match from the first round of the Women's Dusty Classic. So it goes to commercial break, and we got Kurt Stanley from 205 Live sitting down. We have Kurt Stanley sitting down interview with Mackenzie. He's from 205 Live, by the way. He's one of the best cruiserweights on that show. She asked what makes him special. He asked her if he's ever driven 19 hours by herself, and she has not. Well, he has. He's driven from state to state across the country, and one night he was driving along a dirt road. Nothing around but tumbleweed. He looked up and saw a sea of stars, and he knew he was the Lone Star, Stanley. And now he plans to win the Cruiserweight Championship and strap the proverbial rocket to his back. So now, folks, I'm assuming the name the Lone Star Stanley is Kurt Stanley's official gimmick name. That's what I'm assuming. I'm not sure yet, but that's my best guess. So, we got Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez versus Aaliyah and Jessi Kamea with Robert Stone. Aaliyah, Kamea, I like that combination. It makes perfect sense. It sounds like it rhymes. It sounds like Aaliyah and Kamea sound like they're both rhyme. So anyways, the match begins with Raquel and Aaliyah. They lock up. Aaliyah tries to power Gonzalez, but can't move her. She gets shoved back and Kamea tags in. Kamea gets grabbed by Raquel, but wriggles free and knocks her into the corner. Then hits a running forearm. Kai swings a kick at Kamea, but she avoids it, but the distraction allows Gonzalez to drop her. Kai tags in, and hits Kamea, but she no sells it. She hits Akami, but no sells it. And body slams Kai before hitting a rope-assisted elbow drop. Kamea tags Aaliyah, and they hit a double team move and look very proud of themselves. Aaliyah hits a running neck breaker for a 2 count. Kai counters an Irish whip, but runs into the buckles and eats a big boot from Aaliyah. Kai rolls out of the ring, and Aaliyah goes after her. The referee allows Dakota Kai to hit a pump kick. So I'm assuming they're referring to the referee. I don't know. But it allows Dakota Kai to hit a pump kick on the floor and get Aaliyah back inside. Tag made to Gonzalez, and she slows the pace and hits a spin to the corner. And she falls down. Then Kai tags in and hits a running face wash for a 2 count. Kai puts Aaliyah in the corner and tags Gonzalez for repeated shoulder tackles. Gonzalez hits Kai and hit double stomp for a near fall. Kai takes a sleeper hold, but Aaliyah slowly fights up and tags are made to both women. No hot tag this time, though. Gonzalez decapacitates Jessi with a clothesline, then hits a modified chokeslam for the win. And that was it. This was solid enough, folks. Pretty predictable, but it needed to be. So, Aaliyah got some offense in, and that was solid enough for making this more than a full-on squash match. Raquel and Dakota should be winning the Dusty Cup hands down, and should be taking the women's tag team belts off Charlotte and Asuka and back to WWE NXT. So that means the WWE women's tag team titles could be staying on NXT longer, because right now, Monday Night Raw are not doing good with the women's tag team titles. I think the NXT, that's what, I said this from the beginning. I said this last year, right from the beginning. I said the NXT tag team, the WWE women's tag team titles need to go to NXT. I said this from the beginning. It needs to go to NXT. They need to be redesigned, and they need to be knownly called as the NXT women's tag team champions. They need a new name. I think that's the name to go. That's the way to go about it. I think the new name for the women's tag team titles should be the NXT women's tag team titles, not the WWE women's tag team titles. Then, women would make history again, having the first ever NXT women's tag team titles on NXT. It sounds like a great idea to me. I mean, there are some women tag teams in the NXT women's tag team division. There's only probably about 3 or 4. It would make sense for Charlotte Flair and Asuka to drop the WWE women's tag team titles to Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai, even though the titles need to burn, because they are not helping the show. Neither is the 24/7 title. But still, I did state on my NXT review last Wednesday that either the team of Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon's going to win the Women's Dusty Rhodes Classic Tournament, or the team of Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez is going to win it. Either one of those two teams are going to look to win that. So be on the lookout for that, folks. Now, Kai and Gonzalez have advanced to the semifinals, we know, where they will face Kaden Carr and Casey Catanzaro next week. And I'm guessing that's when both teams are going to turn heel, I'm guessing. I don't know. But they said they're going to be turning heel soon, so I'm guessing it's going to be either within next month or within the next 2 months. I don't know. So be on the lookout for Kaden Carr and Casey Catanzaro's heel turn as well. The Way is interviewed backstage and winds up being Theory intending to say Kushida's name. But Gargano losing it and saying he can't say it, it doesn't matter that Kushida has beaten him. He isn't getting a title shot. They leave and Dexter Lumis appears. He appears behind a curtain watching them. We got a commercial break. We see Scarlett reading more tarot cards and speaking critically about Cross killing everyone. Then we see a video of Tegan Nox training with Brie Larson on Lorcen's YouTube channel, which you could watch tomorrow, which will be on YouTube tomorrow. So we got Tyler Rust with Malcolm Bivens versus Rios. NXT is doing a very good job with Tyler Rust's push. I just want to say that. And the credit goes to Triple H and Shawn for giving him this push, because I think he absolutely deserves it. And he has the potential to become the next star, to become the next main eventer, Tyler Rust. If they, of course, use him right on TV and not waste him and bury him on TV, you know. Similar to what they did with Aleister Black over on SmackDown. So, the match begins and Rust takes the back of the unfamiliar Rios and slams him down. Rust slams him a few times, then sweeps his feet at him, as if cleaning the crap off his shoes. Rios gets mad and runs at Rust, but gets grabbed from behind again. Rios hits a sunset flip for a 2 count. Then an arm drag. He attempts a leapfrog, but Rust stops in his tracks. He stops him in his tracks and drops him with a right hand. Rust twists the wrist and kicks his arm twice. Rust starts targeting the arm and stomping on it like Shayna Baszler. Rios jumps on his back, but quickly gets swung off and slammed hard. Rios starts firing back, but gets dropped with a right hand. Rust runs at him in the corner, but gets rolled up for a 2 count. Rios hits a few knife edge chops, then catches him with a tilt-a-whirl Gallatin. Rust runs him back first into the buckles to break free. Then hits a European uppercut and a big boot. Rust applies a modified butterfly submission for the win. And that was it. Folks, is it me or did this match feel kind of slow? This match felt a little bit slow for Tyler Rust. Even though this was a kind of squash match for him. But still, I think it was poorly communicated who Rust's opponent was, to be honest. Also, I believe Rios was said once, but no actual announcing or name sharing was teased by commentary. It wasn't said by commentary. The match was solid, and Rust continues to look very slick and like a picture-perfect NXT molded performer. The pacing of the show has felt incredibly off, and although that could be the cluster of tag matches, I actually think it is more down to the lack of time given before matches. 2 entrances out of a possible 6, and it ruins the natural flow of the show and segments. You can't deny how much of a good job NXT is doing with Tyler Rust's push on the show. I'm looking forward to see what they do with Tyler Rust next. He has, like I said, he has the potential to be a future NXT champion. He has the potential to be the next main eventer, the next star of NXT, like Dexter Lumis. He's kind of a Dexter Lumis kind of guy, sort of. But he's kind of more like Tony Nese. Sort of. He's more like Tony Nese. Tony Nese kind of guy. He's more like a Tony Nese kind of wrestler. So, commercial break. Finn Balor is backstage, and up walks Kyle O'Reilly. He asks Balor if he's ready, and Finn says he's always ready. O'Reilly asks if he can trust him. And Balor, now listen to this, Balor says he's always ready, which we all, as fans, know. O'Reilly asks if he can trust him. Balor says, "What do you think? What do you think?" Kyle says he doesn't have to trust him so long as they're on the same page. Balor says he'll see him out there, and they share a tense stare down. This was a good backstage segment by Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly. I really enjoyed it. It was really great. We got Dusty Rhodes Classic Tag. We got the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. We got the Grizzly Young Veterans. Man, my only favorite tag team in this NXT Tag Team division, man. Don't be surprised if they get called up to the main roster soon. I just hope they don't get used and buried when they get called up to the main roster soon. News could come out on the Grizzly Young Veterans getting called up soon. Who knows? I think they deserve to be on the main roster. They are main event tag team. We got Grizzly Young Veterans versus the team of Leon Ruff and Kushida. The team of Leon Ruff and Kushida, they've been pretty good together as a team. So, team that was paired up by NXT and Triple H. So, Kushida starts with Gibson, and Kushida and they lock up. Kushida attempts an early armbar, but Gibson breaks free. Kushida beats him into the corner and tries to whip him to the opposite corner, but Drake jumps onto the buckles to prevent the impact. So then Gibson then hits Kushida and backs him into the corner, where he tags James Drake. Kushida gets punched a few times, then grabbed in a headlock, but he breaks away and attacks Leon Ruff. Ruff immediately attacks the leg of Drake, then jumps from the rope to rope like Spider-Man before sliding under Drake's leg and grabbing his arm. Kushida tags in and teams with Ruff to hit a series of kicks and stereo drop kicks. Kushida takes the wrist and tags Ruff, who jumps off the top rope with a stomp to the arm. Ruff twists the arm and slams it over his own shoulder, then chops the chest and hits a springboard Hurricane Rana. Now Ruff takes a front face lock, but Drake breaks free and slams Ruff down. Drake knocks Kushida off the apron and tags Gibson. They attempt a double suplex, but Kushida stops it and knocks Drake from the ring. Then Ruff hits a springboard cutter to Gibson, and they score a near fall as they head to commercial break. Back live, and Drake is holding Ruff down with a wrist lock. Ruff tries to fight back, but gets lifted and ran to the corner. Ruff hits a sunset flip for 2, but quickly gets dropped with a clothesline. Ruff is knocked from the ring, and Gibson gets the tag. The Grizzly vets hit a double team backbreaker on the floor. Then Gibson gets Ruff inside and gets cocky. That's what he gets. Ruff counters him and attempts a tag, but Drake comes in and stops him. That's what he get for being a fucking geek. Thought he was slick. Kushida does get the tag and comes off the apron with an axe handle. Then an atomic drop, hip toss, and a cartwheel drop kick. Kushida hits a running drop kick to the arm of Drake. Then attempts a double arm DDT, but Drake runs him into the corner where Gibson tags himself in. Kushida counters a suplex attempt and looks for an octopus stretch, but Gibson powers out and hits a chop to the throat. Drake tags in, and they hit a doomsday device for a near fall. The Grizzly Young Veterans couldn't believe that wasn't it. Drake unloads some ground and pound. Then they look for a tick-tock to Mayhem, but Kushida slides off Gibson's shoulder and takes out both with handspring back elbows. Ruff gets a tag as both veterans roll outside, and Ruff hits them both with dives. Then gets Gibson back inside for a slingshot lariat. Ruff goes up top and looks for a swanton, but Drake pulls Gibson out the way. Then tags himself in. Drake kicks Kushida off the apron and hit a ticket to Mayhem for the win, and that was it. That was it for that match. So, this in-ring match was fine. But once again, neither team received entrances, which not only indicates that we all, as fans, should not care about the performers, but also, as said many times already last night. So, honestly, it ruins the pacing of the match. Grizzly Young Veterans winning is the correct choice, in my full opinion. And doing it clean and having the way get involved afterwards makes perfect sense. MSK versus Grizzly Young Veterans has the potential to replicate the in-ring success of American Alpha, DIY versus the Revival, with the clash of styles working perfectly for selling a story. Now, let me actually tell you what happened, and let me tell you how the Way got involved. Now, the Liver Puddings progressed to the semifinals of the Dusty Classic, where they will face either Undisputed Era or Ciampa and Thatcher, the team of those guys. So, after Grizzly Young Veterans' lead, Johnny Gargano, in theory, ran down and attacked Ruff and Kushida. They knocked Ruff out of the ring and focus on Kushida. There he goes out, grabs Ruff to make him watch Gargano hit the float over DDT from the apron. Gargano grabs the North American Championship and holds it in Kushida's face, but suddenly Dexter Lumis appears behind the barricade and scares Theory. Gargano and Theory don't want anything to do with Lumis. Lumis is doing a great job. He needs to keep it up with his character. Lumis is doing the best work of his career with his character. He's always has been every Wednesday nights. He's always doing good. So the camera cuts backstage and Kurt Stanley is down. And by the way, that's how the Way got involved. All that I just told you. The camera cuts backstage. Kurt Stanley's down holding his leg. Referees are checking on him. William Regal appears, asking him what happened. Stalin says it was legato, and Regal storms off. Commercial break. We're back, and a furious Regal confronts Santos Escobar and his goons in the locker room. He says Kurt Stalin is unable to compete, and he knows they did it. Well, next week, he will defend the title against Stalin, and if Kurt winds up hurt again, he'll be stripped of the title. Regal leaves, and Phantasma laugh among each other. Escobar lifts his title and finds a tarot card from Karrion Kross that says the end is near. They look scared for a moment, then laugh and threw the card away. Why is this leading? Why in the world is this leading to Kross versus Santos Escobar? I don't understand this. Santos Escobar and Kurt Stalin should be feuding, not having Kross involved with this feud. What is he doing involved with this feud, and why is he in this feud? Why? I don't understand. This shit doesn't make sense. I don't get it. But I'm gonna tell you one thing though. This Santos Escobar Kurt Stalin feud is getting better. It is getting better, so at least that's something good we can say about that feud. Karrion Kross should be targeting Finn Balor, not Santos Escobar. Which, again, it's confusing. I mean, I get that Santos Escobar mentioned Karrion Kross last week, but why all of a sudden is Kross targeting him? Just because he said his name? I mean, really? Come on. There's got to be a better reason than that, man. Seriously. This is oh my goodness. So anyways, Toni Storm comes to the ring and takes a microphone. Something. She does it. Like when she won the first ever Mae Young Classic and beat Io Shirai in the finals to do it. And she wanted to be the first woman to win the Women's Dusty Classic Cup. But Io Shirai took that from her. So now she wants to hurt and ruin her. But more than anything, she wants to take the NXT Women's Championship from her. So Io answers the call and takes the microphone from her. Io says she will fight Toni anytime, anywhere. She's already made it clear she doesn't like her. Storm hits a double leg and starts throwing right hands, but Io quickly turns the tables. Shirai hits a dropkick that knocks Storm out the ring, then taunts her to come back. And then, that's when Mercedes Martinez appears from out of nowhere. Yeah, sort of like Randy Orton. Sort of like what I say about Orton. From out of nowhere! RKO from out of nowhere! Anyway, Mercedes Martinez appears from behind Io Shirai. She appears behind Io Shirai, attacks her. She hits Io with a chokeslam, then lifts the NXT Women's Championship. Toni comes in and grabs the title from her, and they start shoving each other. But Shirai jumps in from the ropes and knocks Storm from the ring. Shirai kicks Martinez, basically knocking her into the quarter, and hits double knees. Then goes up top for a moonsault. But Storm pulls her down and drags Mercedes out the ring and slams her into the apron. Storm gets into the ring and beats Io down in the corner, then hits a running knee attack. Storm lifts the Women's Championship and smiles. So we got Io Shirai continuing her feud with Storm and also continuing her feud with Mercedes Martinez. I think a triple threat match should be booked for next NXT's TakeOver. I think that's the way to go about it. Book Toni Storm versus Io Shirai and versus Mercedes Martinez. Toni Storm versus Io Shirai versus Mercedes Martinez has the potential to be one of the best women's triple threat matches on that pay-per-view. Whatever pay-per-view they got coming up. This is a very, very good feud. This is a feud to watch on TV. The feud was entertaining. It had some seriousness to it. It was a highlight of the show. Storm, who often struggles on mic, did a very good job. Shockingly, did a good job of conveying her intentions or reasoning. The ensuing brawl with Shirai was really good. And seeing Mercedes pose with the title was great. Storm standing tall made sense, and I am all for this. I am all for this, seeing these three face off for the title, like I said, in the open. With the former Retribution member coming out on top and leaving TakeOver the Women's Champion. Io Shirai versus Toni Storm versus Mercedes Martinez for the NXT TakeOver pay-per-view. Book it, WWE. This has the potential to be one of the best women's triple threat matches ever. One of the best triple threat matches in the world, possibly. Who knows? Depends on how good the match goes. So, Isaiah Swerve Scott is interviewed backstage and asked why he has a bad attitude recently. Scott says there are a lot of people who have had a bad attitude recently, but it seems the finger only gets pointed at him. He makes Mackenzie point her finger at him to prove his point. So he would be facing Bronson Reed. So we got a commercial break. We see a promo video from Imperium with them saying 1 year ago they were united on America's soul and proved they were a force to be reckoned with. Oh, they did just that, trust me. But through the year, they have been isolated in different countries, and they have succeeded in them. However, Imperium's strength is in unity, and our Ouster Wolf's arrival is just the beginning. So we got Undisputed Era being interviewed backstage and asked about facing Thatcher and Ciampa. Cole says nobody knows how good Ciampa is better than they do, and they also know how tough Thatcher is. Roderick says they're great, but they don't have the chemistry he and Cole have. So there is no way those dorks will prevent them from being two-time Dusty Cup winners. So we got Isaiah Swerve Scott versus Bronson Reed. Thought I almost lost my voice for a minute, folks. Excuse me. So the match gets underway, and Reed immediately forces Swerve to the corner until the referee forces him back. Swerve connects with a leaping knee, but Reed doesn't fall. Reed tosses Swerve over the ropes head first, but Scott lands on his feet. Swerve drags Reed out of the ring into the floor, then knocks him from the apron. He tries for it again, but Reed catches the foot and swings it back, so Swerve lands head first on the apron. Reed and Swerve get back in the ring, but Reed clotheslines him right back out before hitting a suicide dive. Commercial break. We return to find Swerve holding Reed down with a wrist lock. Scott runs him shoulder first into the turnbuckles, then back down to the mat for an armbar. Reed fights up to his feet, but Swerve clobbers him with body shots. Swerve looks for a springboard, but gets swatted out of midair. Reed hits huge collision course, then a senton that crushes Isaiah. Reed hits a suplex into a Death-Eye driver for a near fall. Scott again targets the shoulder to get Reed off of him. Reed goes to the middle rope, but Swerve clocks him with a Capora kick. Swerve climbs up and grabs a Kimura, then leaps off the ropes to slam the arm. Swerve kicks Reed in the face before hitting a 450 splash for a near fall. Swerve can't believe it. He grabs Reed by the hair and talks trash to him, then slaps his face a few times. Bronson fires back with a headbutt and a short arm lariat. Reed goes up top for a tsunami, and that's it. That's that. This has been the best match all night. But I think, in my opinion, the realest best match of the night was the Grizzly Young Veterans versus Kushida and Leon Ruff, in my opinion. But I guess I can also say Swerve versus Bronson Reed was the best match all night. Swerve was back to his Strickland best, and Reed showed by he is a picture-perfect hybrid athlete. He showed that he can do better in the ring. He can do better than Isaiah Swerve Scott. He showed that he has the potential of being the next NXT or NXT North American champion. He has the potential to be like Keith Lee, sort of. He is a lot like Keith Lee, as a matter of fact, when it comes to athleticism. But anyways, sure, this match lacked any real stakes or heat, but at least it had good pacing, unlike the Tyler Rhodes versus Rios match, and some impressive in-ring action. Now, folks, I don't know what's next for both of these performers, but I don't want to go to Titus Catering. No thanks. Anyways, Tommaso Ciampa cuts a promo backstage. He says he's been doing this. Then there's the fights you remember. That Timothy Thatcher grabs a chair and sits beside Ciampa. He says, out of the fight pit comes a changed man. Respect grows. Ciampa says next week they go to war with Undisputed Era in one of the two final quarter matchups. So we got Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly versus Oney, Lorcen, and Danny Burch. You notice how I said Kyle O'Reilly. I said it funny. funnier. I mean, I said it a little bit funny. I guess it wasn't, but again, we got Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly, the team of those guys. They took on Oney, Lorcen, and Danny Burch last night. This was a great tag team match. They started the match with Lorcen and Finn. I thought they were going to start the match with Kyle O'Reilly and Lorcen, but they didn't. I was surprised. I was seriously surprised, man. Literally. And I thought Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly were going to be arguing back and forth. I thought we was going to see some arguing between those two. But we didn't. But instead, we saw the usual arguing early on the NXT review on the NXT show between Killian, Dain, and Drake Maverick. Anyways, Lorcen and Finn Balor starts. It's a lightning quick start as Balor is shot to the ropes, but hits a hip toss and takes the wrist of Lorcen. Balor tags O'Reilly, while Lorcen brings in Burch. They lock up and Kyle takes a side headlock, but Burch backs him into the corner and tags Lorcen. Oney hits a stiff European uppercut, then another, and tags Burch, who does the same to target the injured jaw. Hey, look, there's Dusty Rhodes on my screen. Anyways. So once they target the injured jaw, so to speak, Burch holds O'Reilly down with a headlock. Kyle slowly fights up and makes a tag to Balor, who resumes his rapid pace with a quick wrist lock and elbow strikes. O'Reilly tags in and continues the same offense. They make use of quick tags and target Burch's arm. Lorcen runs in but eats stereo back elbows. They do the same to Burch, and he rolls out to regroup with Lorcen. Balor makes the tag as they come back from commercial break, and he runs through Lorcen and knocks Burch off the apron. Balor stomps Lorcen down. He intercepts Burch and does the same to him. Lorcen grabs Finn Balor from behind and forces him to the corner, where they try to isolate and beat him down. Burch and Lorcen hit a double atomic drop, and Lorcen follows up with a Russian leg sweep for a 2 count. Balor creates some distance with a Pele kick to Lorcen, sort of like AJ Styles' Pele kick. Same thing, except for there's kind of a difference between them. Then drags himself towards O'Reilly, but Lorcen grabs his wrist to stop it. Balor forearms Lorcen and tries to tag, but gets whipped to the corner. Balor elbows Burch off the apron and hits Lorcen with a sling blade. Tags to O'Reilly and Burch, and Kyle comes in hot with stiff kicks to the chest. Then a spinning sweep to drop Burch. O'Reilly with a running forearm in the corner that sweeps the legs off of Burch again. Burch hits the jaw and goes to the middle rope and jumps, but gets caught in a heel hook and instantly taps. The unlikely duo put their differences aside for one night and came out on top after the match. Dunn comes into the ring, and O'Reilly is dragged out of the ring by Lorcen. Dunn and Finn throw hands, but the numbers overwhelm the champion. O'Reilly tries to help, but he, too, gets beat down. Lorcen and Burch hold Finn while Dunn snaps his finger. So once Dunn snaps his fingers, Cole and Strong come running down, but the damage is done. Balor stands side by side with Undisputed Era, then takes a few steps back and leaves the ring. So, this show felt like a stopgap on the road to TakeOver and further feuds. The Dusty Cup, much like War Games, derails the natural flow and storytelling of WWE NXT. When you include NXT having 2 Dusty Classics into the season schedule, you end up with too many tag matches required in too short an amount of time. It probably would have been easier and more effective to just do the Women's Dusty Classic, folks. Whatever has caused NXT to start skipping entrances needs nipped in the bud ASAP, as it, alongside the derailed storytelling and absence of several key stars, contributed to what I believe to be arguably the sorta weakest episode of NXT since moving to USA. So, one of the best matches on the show, again, were the best matches on the show was the Grizzly Young Veterans versus Ruff and Kushida, Reed versus Swerve, and Shirai versus Toni Storm. So I would recommend skipping this week's show if you are short on time, folks. But if you are just wanting to check out the best bits, then, folks, again, I recommend check out Io Shirai and Toni Storm segment alongside Grizzly Young Veterans versus Ruff, Kushida, and Reed versus Swerve. That's going to do it, folks, for your January the 27th, 2021 NXT review. If you enjoyed this review, hit that thumbs up. If you didn't, hit that thumbs down. Folks, I am officially getting out of here. It's kind of been a long day. Sorta. Not much, but you know what I mean. It's been a long day. It's been a good day. And again, I have had a bad week with my YouTube channel. Again, I lost 4 subscribers. And it's down to 144. So I just want to say, if you are brand new to my channel and you don't understand what's going on, I encourage you to hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you'll be notified when I go live on my Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War game. So you'll be notified when I go live on Dragon Ball Z Verse 2 and Naruto Ultimate Stone 4. Which I go live on Dragon Ball Z Verse 2 on Twitch because it's blocked on YouTube for some fucking reason. I don't know why. I don't know. But this week's NXT, even though it seemed weak, it was the best show. Overall, it was the best episode. The show was pretty good. I don't really consider it that weak, but it sort of was. But it was overall, everything else on the show that I mentioned on this review was great. Folks, I will keep you updated and notified on the ratings for AEW Dynamite and NXT on Twitter. So, be on Twitter, because you know I'm going to be tweeting the viewership and the ratings for both of those shows. Those of you that are going to be joining me for my stream on Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, please go ahead and join when it goes live, because that is coming up next right here on my Ingram Wrestling News YouTube channel. Tomorrow, I got an Ingram Wrestling News video dropping on WWE's possible big plans for Aleister Black's return. You're going to want to check out that video. That's going to be an interesting video, because I'm going to give you my opinion on what WWE should do with Aleister Black's return. And after that, my WWE SmackDown live stream will be live. Gonna be live while watching SmackDown, chatting with you all. To those of you who plan on joining my WWE SmackDown live stream chat tomorrow evening. After my WWE SmackDown live stream, my WWE SmackDown review will be live. That's gonna be a good review as well. So it's gonna be worth tuning in for. Depends on how good the show is. It's still gonna be good. Just the show. I hope SmackDown will be a very good show tomorrow. If it's not, you know a lot of us in the IWC are not going to be too happy with it. Well, folks, thank you for tuning in for my NXT review, man. Again, if you enjoyed it, hit that thumbs up. If you didn't, hit that thumbs down. That's going to do it. I'm getting out of here. Peace. See you live on Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Join me on the live chat for that. I'm going to finish grinding on my QBZ 83, getting it to level max. And I'm going to be working on my guy, getting him to level 100. So, be tuning in, be coming in for that. See you on the Call of Duty stream, folks. Peace. Have a blessed day, man. And hopefully you enjoyed this review. I hope I don't lose any more subscribers, because I swear to God, if I do, I'm going to scream. I'm going to be upset and scream. I'm going to lose my fucking mind. Have a good day, folks.